and stuff like that, their limbic system is damaged. It's like 40% shrinkage of the, it's not the, is it the hippocampus that's shrinks? Yes. The hippocampus. It's located in the limbic part of the brain. And what's really sad about this, 22% of people feel like they're completely alone. Their limbic system is completely fucked. Okay? And they feel like they're completely alone and they're not part of a tribe and they're all alone. Okay? So say that this bear goes into this cave with these other bears. They invite this bear in. It registers in the limbic system as safety, as family, as home. Okay, that's where home comes from. And you mold the two together, they become one tribe. Okay? So the grizzly bear that invited the other bear in does something to attack, does something to frighten or scare or trigger something in the limbic system that makes the other bear feel not safe anymore. Okay? And the more and more that happens, the more and more it damages that limbic system, because that the brain was saying, this is my tribe, this is my community, this is my safety, this is my home, this is my area. And then when it backfires, or not backfires, but when it goes against that, the conditions go against what the limbic system is expecting, and it creates damage, the limbic system starts working with the reptilian. And then your fight, flight, or freeze reaction is triggered. Okay? It triggers you. Fight, flight, or freeze. You either want to fight for your safety, you freeze up out of fear from not having any safety, or you flight, you run, you get the fuck out of there to somewhere that it is safe. Right? It's animal instincts. It's reptilian. It's animal instinct. So the limbic system will react that way in that type of position. If that makes any sense, I know I'm talking a lot about the brain. Okay, but that was supposed to be part of this. So now it goes into the subject of if you're being tricked, if you're being manipulated. We have the intuition, the ability to have our brains work well enough to sense it, to pick up on it. Like, say that someone is giving you that dopamine, okay? They're giving you that safety, that feeling of safety, but it's not real. It's a false sense of safety. The limbic system, this is how it happened. I mean, this is how it happened in how it happens in abusive relationships as well. And like, the dynamic of making you feel safe, making you feel safe, making you feel safe, but something's just not right. Your reptilian part is funky. Okay? You can get effed up. You can get effed up and have to rewire your entire brain this way. The limbic system being damaged by feeling like you're safe somewhere, you're not really safe, and your point of view gets skewed, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't know why they want me to talk about that. And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, start pulling cards. I don't know what the F, okay? So let's do a reading. Let's do a reading. Because I'm like sweating. I'm like suddenly I'm sweating. It's hot. I could go on and on and on about that kind of shit for days. So you got to let me stop and figure out what it is you want me to read. Okay, I'm going to take a quick pause to meditate and see where we go from here. I have been seeing the numbers 5, 1, 2, and 8. I have been seeing the cards, the Chariot, Death, 2 of Pentacles, the Tower. This is recovery from a tower. Navigating your way towards rebuilding the tower. I discussed in all of my previous videos the tower moments that were coming. And everything is divinely guided and in divine timing, so you find what is meant for you when you find it in my videos. So it's rebuilding afterwards. Okay, quick pause so I can meditate and figure this out, and then it'll be really quick for you anyway. And pause. Unpause. So I'm seeing the Fool card also, which is a brand new beginning, starting all over. It's also a good card to represent that cortex part of the brain that I'm talking about. I'm going into details now about your chart and how your birth chart and how it registers with the brain. Astrology, how it registers with the brain. Okay? The parts of your brain that are... You have three parts in your birth chart. Your sun, moon, and rising. I call it the sun is your core. The moon is your gooey center, your emotions. And your rising is your outer shell, your armor. Okay? I've explained it that way so many times. Just recently did I put this together about the brain. The cortex, the limbic, and the reptilian. The cortex is your... Did I really do it that way? Because my brain's telling me it's backwards. I put here the cortex as your rising sign. The limbic is your moon sign. And the reptilian is your sun sign. So I guess that makes sense because your sun sign is your core. Your reptilian is your animal instincts. It's your center. It's naturally who you are, like. That makes a lot of sense, as the Fool card being also, like, quote unquote, the Fool, just going for something, just doing something, just taking part in something, just jumping it right into it, or just, it's a brand new start, and it's brand new beginning, it's brand new knowledge, it's brand new, just, it's like jumping into doing something without even really knowing what the F you're doing, okay, and just starting all over. For an example, I lost my previous home. I just jumped up and moved to a different city. The losing my home part was the tower. jumping up and moving to another city and just starting all over and just going for it and not knowing what the F I'm doing. That's the Fool card. And I didn't really, like, I was like that bear I was talking about, the bear that just aimlessly wandered into a, act like a red fox just aimlessly wandered into a cave of grizzly bears. You know, like, it's just, F it, I'm just going to do this and see what happens. That's what I'm seeing from the Fool card. And that's cortex. That's the cortex, the part of your mind that's not really looking at the stuff your instincts want to look at or the stuff that your emotions want to look at. It's just doing it. Okay? Learning from just doing. And then, once the fox doesn't feel safe, doesn't feel like a part of the tribe with the grizzly bears, the fox fight, flight, or freeze. In this case, flight. Rush away, move into another new home, you know, up and move again. Why they're having me cover all this, I don't know. It is for someone. I'm sure this is sending a message to someone for something. But anyway, seeing entities? What? Oh, well, that's just how the human brain, everybody's human brain reacts to things differently. You might see a particular energy a particular way that somebody else doesn't see it that way. Like, you know, it's like I see the number 6, you see the number 9, but it's kind of like this person might have a part of their brain that's activated that can see this energy as a particular entity, as a particular angel, as a particular... But then this other person, that part of their brain isn't active like this person's. So it's like they can't see that. What that person sees. Person A has a part of their brain that is active that can see this particular energy as a particular entity, aka a Loki or a Zeus or a Jesus or a whatever, an angel, an Archangel Michael, an Archangel Raphael, and it's a particular energy, it's a particular wavelength, a particular frequency, and your brain sees and picks up and senses it in your body as a particular entity. And then person B, it's a different part of their brain that's active with that energy, so they see or feel or sense something else or nothing at all. And I say or nothing at all, but really, you know, they have to... It's like an energy of, like my twin. I know it's not a case of nothing at all. It's just a case of a different perspective. I know he senses this. I know he feels this. I know that there's this electricity or there's this energy that's going on over here that he can feel just like I can feel it, but he's feeling it differently than me. So rather than say he's not feeling it at all, it's just feeling it differently. It's like your perspective is just different from my perspective. It's from where you're standing, it's different from where I'm standing. Right? You can take your that's okay, baby. You can take your Spider-Man hoodie off. Good job. And then it's like a sense of why say one particular set is wrong? Like, this person believes in Buddha. This person believes in Jesus. This person believes in aliens. So who's to say that all three of them are not right? Like, why does one particular person have to be right? Why can't it be all three of them are correct? They just see the entity, the energy in a different form than the other one, right? Like, instead of saying God, I say the universe, because it's universal. It's all over the place. It could be anything. What this person thinks is God. Oh, sorry, guys. Anyway, what this person sees as God, I see as an alien or another entity, or this person sees as Buddha, or this person sees as Archangel Michael, or this person sees as the universe or the Big Bang, or an energetic light moving around, or a shock of electricity, or something flowing through. I don't know. Like, all I know is I can look at a tree if I go into a state of channeling, and sometimes it happens involuntarily, I can look at a tree and see its life force. I can see energies moving through the tree. It is alive. Right? So this other person cannot see the energies moving through the tree. They cannot see the life force, the electricity that's moving around in the tree. But that doesn't mean the tree is not alive. They're aware that the tree is alive just as much as I'm aware. I'm aware that plants are alive. I'm aware that right? So they can't see the life moving through it electrically or energetically. And I can. But does that mean that for them that the tree is not alive and not a tree? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, and we have the star card at the bottom, which is healing and cleansing, and major arcana for Aquarius, which is also what my twin flame is. So there's that. Anyway, he must be watching or a part of this, or there's there's other twin flame connections coming through that are, or just, I don't know. I don't know why they're having me talk about all this, but I am. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even know if he pays attention. It's like I can feel his energy. Right as I said that, Page of Swords. Page of Swords is messages, communication, social media, etc., etc. Emails, letters, messages, learning something new, studying, receiving information is the Page of Swords, the Page of Bats. Logic, the mind. Bats are air, energy. Swords, air, logic, the mind, thinking, words, the planet Mercury, which is communication, air, energy, element, the elements, the way all the elements connect too. I mean, it's all connected into one big thing. But just as I'm saying that, here's the Page of Swords. Like, maybe he is, what? Sorry, I have to help the youngling put his costume on. And there you go. Okay, go play. Is that better? Okay, I love you. Hey, will you close Mommy's door? Thank you. Love your guts.
Bye.
Bye, be careful. But yeah, this is gaining knowledge, study, social media, etc., etc. Messages, emails, letters. So maybe he is watching. Maybe he does pay attention. Maybe he does care, give a shit about what I have to say. I don't know. Twin flame is complicated. It's hard. It's frustrating. It is not what you expect. Okay? But it has been very exciting. I'm learning a lot. I am expanding what I do as far as this stuff goes. A lot. It's just a lot. So they want me to pull a few cards from here. They want me to pull a few cards from here. They want me to pull a couple of cards from here. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. 1 second. All right, guys. Sorry. Motherhood, motherhood. I keep seeing the Queen of Pentacles. Hey! I just saw it as I was about to... Okay, love your guts. There's the Star card again. The Four of Imps or Four of Wands, which represents home, family, that connection that I was talking about just a minute ago, your tribe, your connection with a home, stability with a home. It's also 1111, the Twin Flame card. And then I keep seeing Queen of Pentacles, which I thought there's the Empress, which is close enough, which is the mother, the mom, the feminine, the divine feminine energy. This is definitely a twin flame reading. Like, divine feminine, learning, studying. Queen of Pentacles, I keep seeing, I saw her a second ago, but now she's, oh, there's the King of Pentacles. That's weird. I just flipped open to that. There's the King of Pentacles. I saw her a second ago, but it's like mom and dad. Okay. It's like masculine and feminine in touch with they're being grounded. Okay. It's earth energy, pentacles. It's also money, stability. I keep hearing stability. They want me to pull from the Literary Witches Oracle. I keep seeing stuff about a mother, a mom, a mother, a mom. Being a good mom, needing a good mom, needing a woman, a feminine energy. The soul. Okay. Let's just get quiet and listen and see what they say. These cards are so hard to shuffle. They're huge. Sorry. Creature's Paw just fell out. Creature's Paw is connection, forgiveness, friendship, loyalty. Let me see. The other, friendship and forgiveness. That's friendship and forgiveness. Okay. Take these as it resonates, how it resonates, what the message is meant, because it's a particular message for me and a particular message for the collective, and we're all in the same energy. Story and book. Story and book. Storybook. Let's just look at that real quick, because I feel like that's supposed to be significant. Story. Your story, the stories of others, listening to each other, friendship, forgiveness, connection, listening to each other. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on just 1 second. What are you doing, bud? Sorry, guys. Your story, the stories of others, and listening. I was just talking about all of that. Everything about the story that I just told and everything that I have been going on and on about in these videos has to do with this. Okay? listening to each other, connecting, friendship, forgiveness, the way that the brain is a radio station and you're on wavelengths together and learning from each other, and the way that we change each other and listen to each other. The way that my twin doesn't exactly hear or listen, and the way that we're in the practice of listening to each other and learning from each other. This is definitely a big part of the twin flame connection. So this is the twin flame message. Book says hope, revelation, and ignorance. Studying, learning, discovering, being ignorant of something and learning something new due to ignorance. I've talked about all of this in the last few videos that I've posted. Go back to part 1 of the pre-reading discussion and listen all the way through. There are messages in these videos for everybody. There's a reason that I go on and on and on about the shit that I'm talking about. Okay? I talked about guilt wounds and about the ignorance of, like, as an example, you don't know how to pronounce a word because you've only read it, or you misspelled a word because you only heard it. My notes are full of misspellings. That doesn't mean that I am not intelligent. Okay? I have mispronounced words because I read them in a book and did not hear them with my ears. That does not mean that I am unintelligent. There's a difference between stupidity and ignorance. This is learning, study, listening, communication. All right? Friendship, connection. The Four of Wands is stability. They want one more from here. Well, boar. Holy crap. Do you know what this means? Being intimidating. Being belittling and berating and being a bully and feeling unsafe. Remember when I talked about triggering in the limbic system, triggering someone's fight, flight, or fawn response, okay? I'm going to read to you what boar says. Danger, aggression, and masculinity. Masculinity. Danger, aggression, and masculinity. The masculine, divine masculine. Being aggressive and brooding and belittling and berating and intimidating. Causing the fight, flight, or fawn response by registering danger in the brain and unsafe environment. Everything that I was just talking about. Wow. Okay, they want me to pull some from here. Army of rats. Form of a ghost. Chainsaw, which I've mentioned in my previous videos, and I channeled this, is Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords. Cutting to the chase. Clarity. Right? Cutting out the bullshit. Ace of Swords. Chainsaw registers as Ace of Swords for me from this deck. Form of a ghost. What does that mean? What does that mean? Army of rats. Form of a ghost and army of rats. Remember when I talked about how people will treat you the only way that they know how because it's how they've been treated? I talked about projection. I talked about how the other person may have been surrounded by people who mistreated them or did them wrong or treated them like they were stupid, or, you know, and they don't know any other way of expressing themselves because that's the way that they've been treated. And that kind of energy, okay? Being careful of who you surround yourself with because our frequencies of our brains connect to each other. All right? Something of the past, maybe, with form of a ghost. We'll get more into that. An open grate Open Great is my card for like opening up, coming out of your cage, thinking outside the box. Okay? Letting your guard down, taking your armor off, finally coming out of this cage that you've been in. Like, if you think a certain way, if you've been doing things a certain way, like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Okay? And that's what this means, to break that cycle. Come out of that cage, come out of that prison that holds you and start doing something new, something different, letting loose, letting go. Right? Okay? So that's standing out to me. Look at this. Look at this. Twin flames doing it together. Twin flames doing it together. Coming out of that prison, that cage. Thinking outside the box together. This is everything that I have been talking about, guys. This is everything that I have been talking about. What number is on? Is that a number 2? That's not a number 2. I thought that was a number 2. It looks like a number 2. I don't know if you can see it. It's not focusing very well. It looks like a number. It kind of looks like a number 5 when it's blurry like that. It's just some weird symbol, but it looked like a 2. It kind of looks like a 5. Those are the numbers I've been talking about. 5 is like the phoenix rising from the ashes, right? It's kind of like the death number, the painful, the part of death and rebirth center ground that I talked about. Okay, so make sure that you watch all of my videos that I'm posting because it talks about all of it. Fake out. I talked about masking. I talked about keeping silent, political backlash, to avoid backlash. Staying quiet, keeping something to yourself, not saying anything, hiding something, faking something, what have you, to keep from dealing with the backlash, the bullshit. My other video that I talked about, pre-reading talk, part 1 or 2, whichever one discusses it. They're all very long videos. You're going to have to sit and listen, grab some popcorn, whatever. I talked about being closing yourself off, shutting yourself down, faking yourself out, doing something that's not true to yourself, to keep from embarrassment, to keep from being judged, to keep from being belittled, to keep from being talked poorly about. And then I just opened the deck to fame. I keep talking about like getting messages of money, someone coming into a lot of unexpected money or popularity that gets them money, or I mean fame. I don't know really what that's about. It's success in lots of different ways that you don't see coming. Indomitability and protein. What? Learning. This is like, I look at this card as like powering up from all the like learning, like it's protein, it's knowledge, it's this is creating like an unstoppable force. Look how this is masculine and this is feminine, and they're like almost in the same pose. And they're like, I'm learning. I'm growing. Like, I don't know how else to even. That's how it feels. What is this? You know, it's, wow. 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 I'm sure you guys probably hear my kid in there destroying stuff. It's almost time. Cat's guidance. I get this MFer almost every time. Cats are, let me look at this. Check this out, because there's a cat card in here. The untamed, self-ownership, and watching. Okay, and then look at how in this deck, there's always a cat watching. Like, I mean, in every card, there's a cat watching. They always have me put those two together. So whatever that means for you, right? Cats are, what are cats? Look into the natural ways of cats, okay? And see how it resonates for you and what parts of the natural ways of cats, how they behave, what they do, what they're good for, how they, you know, just cats. And see how it relates to your current situation, because that's what the divine want you to connect to. Cats do all kinds of things that could relate in so many different ways. It's how it relates best to you, though. Watching, observing. You sneak up on something before you pounce, before you get what you want. I don't know. That's kind of just coming out of me out of nowhere. Okay, so the last two things I'm going to do, we're going to close off. They want one more from here. Wildflowers at the bottom. Wildflowers, that relates to this. Hold on now. What? Wildflowers means like, because doesn't it say self-ownership for the cats? Like self-ownership, that's definitely, cats do their own thing and take care of themselves, and they don't need your BS, and they don't care what you say, and they're going to do whatever they want, right? They are their own being. Renewal, the Fool card. Remember, I talked about starting all over. Romance and awakening. Renewal, romance, and awakening. Okay. And I mentioned in the first video previously, I called this awakening. Like I talk about, don't look at it like religion and spirituality or whatever. Look at it like awakening, alignment, etc. Devotion. That's interesting. Devotion is the one they wanted to come out of here. Devoted. Being devoted. It says the child wants my phone for YouTube, so I really have to go soon. Well, shit, if I could even find it. Worship, passion, the sublime. Okay, I'm gonna pull one more from that. Devoted to something. Because that's my main part of looking at all of this, because we're not looking for religious stuff. We're not looking for man-made religion in this. We're not looking to worship some things, worship some